There's something almost magical about good fantasy stories. They grip you, pull you, and make you feel as if you're a part of their world. The characters feel like family. The world has an odd sense of familiarity to it. It all just works somehow. And that's exactly what made the first season of Shadow and Bone so successful. Now, with fans desperately waiting for Season 2, it's time for us to bring you all the information on the upcoming season of Shadow and Bone. First, the release schedule for Season 2. Shadow and Bone, the popular fantasy series, adapted from Leigh Bardugo's Grishaverse, hit our screens last year and became an instant hit on the streaming giant Netflix, raking in millions of views in just a few weeks after its release. And ever since the first season concluded, fans have been eager for any updates they could get for Season 2. Back in July 2021, we found out that the show got renewed for a second season. While we do know about the second season of the show, there isn't really a lot of information on when it will come out. But that can't stop us from speculating though, can it? The first season of the show started filming in October 2019 and took around 4 months to complete, concluding in February of 2020. But the COVID-19 pandemic, coupled with some post-production stuff, delayed the release of the show for quite some time, with the first season finally coming out on Netflix in April 2021. Now for the second season, we already know that the show entered production in January 2022. Some of the executives, showrunners, and Netflix confirmed on social media that production had gotten underway on time. So going by that same 4-month margin, the production phase of the show should be nearing its end by May this year. Crossing our fingers that everything works out well and the second run of the show can come on our screens by the end of the year. But that's still a long shot considering how time-intensive the post-production and editing phase is for a fantasy series like Shadow and Bone. So with that in mind, we might get a 2023 release date for the second season at the earliest. Let's just hope that we get to see an amazing second season that lives up to the hype of the first one, regardless of the time it takes. Now, the casting both new and old for Season 2. Now that we've got the release of the new season out of the way, with Netflix confirming the cast, let's talk about what the lineup is going to look like for the second season. Jessie May Lee and Archie Reno return to play the protagonist of the series in the roles of Alina Starkov and Malyan Mal Oretsov. Freddie Carter returns as Kaz Brecker, Amita Suman as Inej, and Kit Young returns as Jesper Fahey. We might end up seeing Kaz, Inej, and Jesper link up with Nina Zenek and Matthias Helver, played by Daniel Galligan and Callahan Skogman, like they did in the books. Ben Barnes coming back as General Kirigan, who survived in the finale of last season. And finally, Daisy Head, playing Jenya Safin. But those were just a few of the familiar faces that we'll be seeing from the returning cast. For the new season, we've been promised new additions to the show, so let's talk about them. Nikolai Lantsov, a fan-favorite character from the books, is set to make his appearance this season. He is portrayed by the Irish actor Patrick Gibson. In the books, Nikolai meets Alina and Mal and ends up becoming one of their key allies. He also leads a pirate armada under the pseudonym Sturmund, aiding to the war effort for the Kingdom of Ravka. Besides Nikolai, we'll be introduced to two new faces, Louis Tan and Anna Leong Brophy, playing the roles of the twin characters, Tolia Yu Batar and Tamar Kir Batar. In the books, we saw Tamar as a Grisha Heartrender and an ex-member of Sturmund's pirate crew. She carries 2 axes and is Tolia's twin sister. Tolia, on the other hand, is also a Heartrender, described as a big, muscly mercenary who is still a member of Sturmund's crew. Wylan Hendricks is another addition to the cast for the Shadow and Bone TV series from the novels. He is known as Wylan Van Eck in the books, the son of a wealthy merchant who joined the Crows as a demolition expert for a job inside Fjordan Ice Court. Hendricks is portrayed by Jack Wolf, known for his roles in The Witcher and Inside Number 9. Next, let's look into storylines for Season 2. Season 2 for Shadow and Bone, from everything we know so far, promises to be spectacular in every sense of the word. From the way the first season ended and the new cast of characters that we've talked about, it looks like the story will primarily focus on the Siege and Storm storyline from the books, along with the Six of Crows and King of Scars. To quickly recap the end of Season 1, Alina and Mal enter the fold for the final time. A big fight with Kirigan breaks out, and Alina realized that only she could control the power of the stags. Ending on that note, Alina and Mal parted ways, with the dregs and Kirigan tapped into his darkling powers. Kirigan. Now let's discuss what we think is going to go down in the second season. For Kirigan, it looks like the creatures he created in the fold are going to be a tough challenge for our heroes Alina and Mal. Ben Barnes, who plays Kirigan, talked about what his character would be like in the second season. He thinks that with Kirigan's newfound power, he will be like an all-powerful character. Barnes looks forward to his character's interactions with other people in the new season. Dregs. It also looks like Dregs dregs will team up with Nina to try and free Matthias before they join hands with Wyland to try and rescue someone called Bo Yulbeyer. In Siege and Storm, the shoe chemist and fabricator is held captive at Fjorda's ice court. Considering that we've already seen the impossible heist in the court in the first season, it'll be interesting to see how the show decides to adapt this bit of story from the books. Alina and Mal. Coming to our main characters, Alina and Mal, we know that they parted ways with the dregs and now explore new lands in order to keep Alina out of Kirigan's reach. We also learn from the synopsis of Season 2 that the two of them together are looking for a mythical target that would help them in their fated encounter with Kirigan. It's also been hinted at that they might come across a new ally in their journey. We're pretty sure that they're talking about Nikolai. Let's wait and see if our guess is correct. Speaking to Digital Spy in an interview, Jessie May Lee talked about what we can expect from Alina this time around. She talks about how her character goes from being a scared little pup to having a presence to her character. She feels strong. We can see growth in the character, but she still has a long way to go. May Lee feels that this is a really nice place to leave her character, and it's pretty clear where her character stands and how far she needs to go. We couldn't agree with her more. Zoya Nazyalensky. Another storyline that we'll be looking out for is Zoya's. In the finale of the first season, we saw her heading to Novokrebrisk to search for her family after Kirigan destroyed the city with the Fold. If the TV show sticks to the Six of Crows Crooked Kingdom novel, we could see her teaming up with the dregs again. But with Tamar and Tolia's introduction and their plotline with Zoya in the spin-off novel King of Scars, it's very possible that the TV series decides to go down a different path. Nikolai Lantsov. Nikolai Lantsov is another character whose character arc will be really exciting to watch on screen. In the Siege and Storm novels, he is portrayed as the former king of Ravka that leads a pirate crew under the alter ego Sturman. He is hired by the Darkling to track down Rusalai, a mythical dragon. However, he meets up with Alina and Mal and teams up with them to stop the Darkling from carrying out his plans. Is there a trailer for Season 2? At the moment, no there isn't. We might expect a teaser to drop later this year, but right now, the show's still in the middle of filming, and it doesn't seem like we'll be getting anything like that soon. Now, plans for the future of the show. With the show on its way for a second season, a lot of people might be wondering if the show will continue for a few more seasons after that. For the moment, however, we've only got confirmation for a second season. But the good news is that Leigh Bardugo, the author of Grishaverse, wishes for the show to go on for at least 5 seasons, saying that there's just so much story to tell. That seems like a good sign. We really hope that we get to see more seasons of the show. There's also potential for the show to go into separate spin-offs, covering some of the wider plot points and storylines that didn't get enough screen time on the show. They could even go for making entirely new content that provides more depth to the world from Bardugo's books. The sky is truly the limit for the Shadow and Bone TV series, if it manages to deliver another successful season. That's a wrap for this video. See you in the next one. Bye, guys.